Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a book. Name of the book is Vampire in Love, Enrique Vila-Matas. So the book is actually a collection of short stories, and short stories are of a different length. Each short stories usually have a similar themes, but they are actually very different also. So the stories are ranging from one page to 16, 18, 24 pages. And there are nearly, let me see, there are, let's say, 15, 16 stories. And the theme of the stories are, I would say, I would say the distance of a person from the society or indifference. I see a kind of detachment, and that detachment is of a same layer that the Albert Camus talks about in The Stranger and other novels. But the short stories, the detachment part has to come quickly. So it was represented in a very weird manner. When you have a proper novel, you can show the characteristics and the reaction of the character, and just you have too much space to reveal the personality or the themes of the story. You can talk more, but in the story, you have a limited space. You have uh, basically you want to say think faster. So most of the stories end up in a very absurd way because people are usually dying in the end. So the story will be going on like there is a man who is drinking and going out with the friend, and things are happening. They both are doing drugs, and then that man will just jump from the bridge. And it is also a symbolism, or I would say some kind of signal on the side that these stories are not actually happening, and they are mere the reflection of the writer, or I would say it is a, a design or pattern. I noticed that it might be a meta fiction that writer has included many times himself in the story, because in many stories the protagonist or the main characters are presented as storyteller or phrase stealer or experience catchers. So the way the writers usually describe themselves, and these writers, I mean the writers who describe themselves as uh, dream catchers or story capturers are actually mostly the newbies or the beginner writers. So that is also happening in the book, because the writer also mentioned few times that the collection of the stories or the experience the writer has also a part of the stories. So some stories are actually taken from the experience of Enrique Vila-Matas. I hope I am taking the name correctly. And like the first story was about a home or a room the person is actually looking to live or rent, but he is completely on drugs, so he was not able to conversate converse properly, and he is losing his chance to impress the owner. But then his friend turns up and there are something happens, and there is another story about the sea swell, and then it is about something coffee or something. and there was also a permanent home. And the stories also have the theme of development and memories, and how they are not actually real, and what memories are actually real and what are made up. Because as you grow old, there are so much information you have in your mind, that so many information are made up. It is also a kind of scientifically proved that many memories are made up by the mind to fill up the gaps. Because I don't know, it is just the thing that I have read in a psychology when I was in the college. So this is also I'm seeing in these stories. So I really like the story about the death. It was the death by Swaded, and I also like the story, the invented memories. It was about the which memory are actually real, because these are the things the writer want to explore. See, these are the short stories, and most of them does not have a proper plotting or rhythm or flow. They don't have a climax in the starting and beginning. They are just the dump from the writer's mind, from his experience to here. So this is where I was getting it, and this is I would like you to read it. Do not read it that there will be a proper ending and starting, like so many writers did or do. And there is one story that I'm not going to reply to any emails, and it is just a writer replying to different emails. And in the end, again, the same pattern follows. The protagonist is actually going to kill himself, so he replied to the last email and said, "This is the my last email." And the funny, I would say funny or sad or tragic, because the way a writer has played with the death or suicide, the themes in the book. I do not want to. I should not make fun, but still, the way it is portrayed is full of humor, because there is a vampire in love. If you see the titular story is about a person with a hunchback, and I think it is derived from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So it was a book, very popular book, a gothic literary love story, I would say. So in it, the person get rich because a relative hand over all the wealth to him before dying. So the person is now, the vampire is now rich, but the person he is in love is not actually in love with him. So he tried to kill himself, but his gun does not work. So these are the things are also there, and there are many instances in stories as well where the character want to hurt themselves, but they are not able to due to some stupidity, and they are just look like a fool. So I will recommend this book to anyone if you are trying to read. These are unique stories, easily readable, and yeah, you will not be getting amazed or shocked or I would say entertained, but it's a different perspective. It's a hidden, it's a subtlety of the literature that you will find in these stories. So it is also, I guess this is a Italian writer, or I don't know, but yeah, it is good book, and it is recommended from my side. And thank you for watching.